Hi there, Trisha here, and I want to go over the trade that I took on Tuesday, January 20th, and I'll go over a couple trades that I did not take and tell you why. And I used two setups, one off a longer tick chart, one off a smaller tick chart, and I used three charts with indicators for confirmation before ever taking a trade. Conservative way to trade, but it does keep me out of trouble. So I want to show you this trade setup that was occurring at about 9:37, 9:38. It was a scalp setting up, and I don't trade before 9:40. That's just my rules. So obviously I would have passed on this anyway, but I want to point out why I didn't like the trade. It's already in oversold territory, and I don't mind taking something if it's in just crossing into oversold territory such as this, if it's coming from divergence. This was not coming from divergence, so I would pass. That's just, my rules. So that's how I play it, and that's why I would have passed on it even if it was at 940. Now, if this was closer to 940 and I had divergence, let's say it was 939, 55, I would have taken that trade. But we did not have divergence. So, again, I don't mind taking something if there's no divergence, but I want to see it just starting down or, just coming into oversold. This had gone sideways just for a couple bars, so, another reason to pass. This is another setup that was occurring for a scalp at about 9:45, and I'll show you on the longer tick chart why I would have passed on that. But scalp setting up, but again, we don't have divergence, and we're already in oversold territory back here, and we've gone sideways. So again, I would pass. Now, some people have asked, well, why not just trade off the lower indicator? And you can certainly do that. You can play divergence off the lower indicator, and some people can, trade the crossovers with those two lines. And that's all fine and good, but you need to go back and back test it, and you'll see if you just play the crossover of the lines on the lower indicator that coincide with the scalp trade setting up, it works a lot of the time, but it doesn't work a lot of the time as well. So again, easy to look back and see something working, but when you're actually taking the trade, what you need to do is, just look to the left. Put your chart where you can't see anything on the right, and just slide it sideways and just keep watching for the setups occurring based on taking a trade if that lower indicator had crossed over, and decide before you see anything on the right, decide honestly if you would have taken it, and then look to the right, and then you'll see that you're going to have a lot more trades, and a lot more trades that are not going to work out. But again, if you design a plan around that, you absolutely can trade the crossovers using that lower indicator. This is the longer tick chart, and I want to show you the previous trades I just showed you, why I wouldn't have taken them. Now, this is the trade that I showed you that was setting up right here at 9:45. And you can see that we're very close. This is the high from the day before, the low from the close from the day before, and this is the low from the day before. So we're very close to that. So chances are, in my mind, and again, this is how I trade it, that we're going to get close to that, and we're going to have no action, or it's going to bounce, or I usually wait for it to break through that before I will take a trade. So again, that's why I didn't take this trade here. This trade here, actually, I did take, and I'll show you on my smaller tick chart. We had already broken below the low of the day from the day before, so I thought, okay, should be fine. So this is the setup that it was occurring. We had a scalp trade set up. It was just about 10 o'clock. We had divergence on the indicator, which of course I like. Took the trade short at about 10 o'clock at 8:22.25 and put my 2-point stop in, and it got hit literally right here. By 10:01 I was out. So didn't work out. That's just the way it is. Trade set up nicely. We had broken the low from the day before, so I thought definitely was safe to take it. This was the bar here that was still finishing up the trade that I was in, that I just showed you that I took. So, again, below the low from the day before, so I thought it would work out fine, but it didn't. So that's just the name of the game. Nothing you can do about it. So anyway, I only took one trade that actually set up that I liked today, and that was for a loss of 2. So that's how I wound up. You can check these setups out, www.easyemintrade.com, and definitely would suggest to back test just trading off that lower indicator before jumping in, and you'll see what I mean by it crossing over many, many times, and you're not going to really know if the trade's going to work out or not. So that's it for today.